Hey guys, it's Mr. Young again. Had a couple emailed questions about the homework, so I figured we'd dive right in, and I'll stick this on YouTube as soon as it's done. First question that came up were on numbers 9 and 10 on the optional homework from tonight, and we can see in the directions that they're both parallelograms, and that tells us a little bit about each of them. So looking at the first figure, we see we've got a parallelogram, and we can see that we've got two sides with values given, and those sides are opposite each other. So hopefully we remember from class that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So we're going to take that 20.5 and set it equal to b plus 14.5 from the other side. And now it's just a quick one-step problem we want to solve. Find out what b is, so we'll subtract 14.5 from each side, and now it looks like b is going to equal 6. Remember, just because we get b equals 6 doesn't mean we're done. We want to plug that in and make sure we're okay. So we know that one side equals 20.5. We want to plug b equals 6 in right here and make sure it still works out for us. So b plus 14.5, when we plug in 6 plus 14.5, and we do that addition, we'll get 20.5, and that does indeed check out and equal what we want it to. And now we still need to find all those side lengths, so we've got this other guy here that we need to plug in for, so we'll do the same thing, 3b minus 6.3. We're going to plug in for that b our value of 6 minus 6.3. That's going to give us 18 minus 6.3, which will give us 11.7. I'm doing these numbers off the top of my head, guys, so if you notice that I've made a mistake, please let me know. Also, I apologize for the laugh track in the background. Just some teachers next door having a good time. Okay, so let's go ahead and start another one of these. I'm just gonna kind of make a new box so I can keep writing here. And in this one, number 10, we've got a slightly different setup. You'll notice that the two angles that we're given are right next to each other. So before we were solving for sides, we had opposite sides. Now we've got angles. They're not opposite angles. You might remember that opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent, but we don't have opposite angles here. These are what we call consecutive angles. And the one thing we want to really remember about consecutive angles is that they're going to be supplementary. Remember, the top one here is clearly obtuse. The bottom one looks to be clearly acute, so there's no way we're going to get away with setting those two things equal to each other. So let's add them together. 8s plus 5, that's our first angle, plus 3s plus 10, our second angle. And if we add those two together, they're going to have to equal 180. Consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. That'll give us 11s when we combine our like terms, plus 15 equals 180. And just solving that quickly, 11s equals 165, and that's good. When we divide by 11, that'll give us a nice round number, 15. You do want to take that 15 back, plug it in for s, and find those two angle measures to check and make sure that those two angle measures, when added together, will give you 180. That's your check that we've done everything correctly, but I'll leave that to you. Another question was asked about 22, 23, and 24. I'll go through one of them. They're all similar problems. So we'll do one, and then I'll leave the other two to you. If you still have questions, you can email me. Let's try 22. We've got this angle here, 3a, and this angle over here, 114. Again, they're across from each other. They're opposite angles. Opposite angles of a parallelogram are going to be congruent. So all we need to do to solve 23 is set 3A equal to 114. Some quick division here, if Mr. Young can do it in his head. A should be 38. You want to approach the other two the exact same way. These are opposite angles, so set them equal. These are opposite angles, so set them equal. Good luck with the rest of the homework.